Holy shit! Oh my gosh, how fast were you going?
I think it was a 927, man.
Yo, 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 it's your boy, Super Saiyan Main Train, coming back at you again with another YouTube video. My laptop was on my elbow. I don't want to smash that. That'd be pretty sucky. Today, we are going to be going over 10 tips, 10-step, 10-week program to running a faster mile. And I guarantee you, if you follow these easy peasy lemon pie steps, you will see results. But before we get going, I'm gonna ask you guys to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. For just one click, you could help a poor college student achieve his dream of reaching out to millions and millions. Let's dive right into this sucker. Head on. Boom! Super Saiyan Main Train tip number 1. Test your baseline. You need to see exactly how fit you are, and what better way to do it than a good old-fashioned gritty mile. So my suggestion to you would be to get on the track, get gritty, get ready to puke, and put your balls on the line, throw down. How are you going to know where to even start training if you don't know where you're at? So once you've done that, you move on to step 2. You need to run! You need to run! If you want to get good at push-ups, guess what? You do a lot of push-ups. If you want to get good at playing the guitar, guess what? You play the guitar. The most important part of mile training is the aerobic base. 70% of your mile speed comes from your aerobic base. The other 30% comes from the anaerobic base. So what is important? It's getting in the easy aerobic miles. And you need to get one long run in per week. So let's say that you're running a 50-mile a week. You want to get about a 10-mile long run in. Now once you've done step 2, you move into step 3, core strengthening. You need core in order to stabilize your back muscles, your obliques, your abdomen. Now imagine that you're not using any of those things. Let's say that you're on the track and you take a funny step. It's your core that allows you to bounce back without wasting too much energy. Let's say that you're running a cross-country race and all of a sudden somebody pushes you into a tree. How are you gonna come back? Your core. I hit my head on my bed, pissed. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get down on the floor and I do 3 sets of 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, and 1-minute planks. If you don't like it, then just look up a different core routine on Google. You'll easily be able to find something. That's just what I do because I need to keep up with, my ROTC stuff. And why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone, huh? Why not? So that brings us to step 4, and that is strides. Now that means 6 to 8 100-meter sprints. Let's call them sprints at about your 800-meter pace. Now, you may be wondering, what's my 800-meter pace? So whatever mile time that you just ran, take that, cut it in half, and subtract about 10 to 12 seconds. Now, take that time and split it into 100-meter intervals. That's how fast you should be running those sprints. Once you have those 4 crucial ingredients of the big apple pie down, we move on to number 5, and that is the tempo run. The technical term for a tempo run is called a lactate threshold, and that's just fancy science terms for where your body goes right before you start building lactic acid in your legs. Lactic acid is what makes your legs feel heavy, it's what makes them feel tired. It's the byproduct of anaerobic burning of energy. So, if you can find a way to make lactic acid take longer to build up, why not do it? Well, guess what? You can! Tempo runs. Tempo runs are anywhere from 2 to 4 miles at a pace that is comfortably hard. Step 7, repetition work. Repetition work is exactly how it sounds. It's high volume repetitions followed by about 80 to 85% of 3K to 5K pace. So let's say that you're doing 12 400s. That'd be considered repetition work. So my personal 5K PR is about 1520. That comes out to about 454 to 456 per mile, and I would do that pace for a 400. So that comes out to about 74 to 75 seconds. That just gives you an idea. Based off of that mile that you ran, you can go onto Google, which has a bunch of awesome tools that will tell you exactly what you can run in the 3K and the 5K and the 10K and the half marathon, so on and so forth. Step 7, interval training. The worst part of mile training. Interval training is building up your anaerobic system. It's the small 30% of the pie that is still important to running a mile that you need to to do. An example of an interval training workout would be 3 400s at 95 to 98% effort, very close to all out, and what this does is simulate the feeling that you're going to have when you get into that race. Interval training will also build up your VO2 max, which is fancy schmancy terms for how far and how fast can you run in 12 to 13 minutes. Do your interval training, and I promise you, you'll get something out of it. And now we move on to step 8. Easily the most important part of this whole thing. Step 8 is recovery. If you don't do this step, if you don't recover, you might as well throw the rest of this stuff out the window because you are not going to get anything out of this training. Story time. My last cross country season, I did very hard work over the summer. I ran about 900 miles and a lot of it was at a very good pace. I was confident I was going to come into the season and do some really special things. But I didn't let myself recover, and because of that, my muscles were always constantly broke down, and before I realized what I'd gotten myself into, it was already too late. I'd thrown away my season. I didn't even give myself a fair shot at racing the guys that I know I should be beating. Don't let that be you. Learn from my mistakes. That's why I'm here to teach you, boys and women. Recovery is so important because what you're doing in all this training is breaking down every single one of your muscle fibers in your legs, your arms, your entire body. And if you don't let them recover, you're only going to be firing at about 70% to 75% of your maximum muscle capacity. So recover. Step 9, carbo load. To me, this is the most fun part of training is carbo loading. The night before you race, you want to eat as much carbohydrates as you possibly can stuff into your stomach, because what that does is it builds up glycogen in all of your muscle fibers, and that acts as an energy source that gives you about 12 to 15 extra seconds of energy that you wouldn't otherwise have. And last, but very not least, is step 10. And step 10 is pace and race. Now what do I mean by pace and race? It means this. You gotta go into that race, you gotta know exactly what you can do, and you need to pace it out and run smart. So I'll give you an example. My mile PR is about 4:33, and if I was to go into the mile expecting to run 4:28, that'd be pretty reasonable. But if I want to run 4:28, why would I go out on pace for 4 minutes exact when I know that I can't do that? If you pace your race right, you're gonna be able to finish harder, you're gonna pass people, and you're gonna feel like a freaking animal. So pace and race. You just need to be smart. The hay is in the barn, just use it, just eat it. You have all the tools for success, just utilize them. Just do it, man. And on that note, peace, love, and praise the booty.